And here we go at the logo. We're back again at the first annual New Orleans Paracon down here in the French Quarter of New Orleans at the corner with a motorcycle outside raising sand. But we're at the corner of Bourbon and Canal, one of the more historical intersections in New Orleans. We're looking at Christopher Talley right now. He's the guy that put all this together. Patty Nigre, she's right there, and she's
beautiful as always.
Beautiful as always. She was great on the show earlier, and we are about to have Christopher Talley do something on TV. So let's go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Well, my name is Lourdes Gonzalez. You can.
Yes, and I'm Ron Iacovetti.
And what we do is called the Digital Sounds Experience. We work with white noise. I'm going to let Ron say the details. Go ahead.
Sure. So we do a form of spirit communication, or ITC, instrumental trance communication, using white noise as a form of perceptual engineering to make what is not audible or detectable to us detectable to us. Mm-hmm. It's not anything magical or fantastical per se. Like at this very moment, there's radio stations with music flying past our heads. We don't hear it. It's not within our hearing range. The carrier wave that brings it in. But when you turn on a radio, it modulates it and it puts it to where we hear music. Even though we're around it, it's around us right now. We don't experience it until we have it modulated. So what the system does is it takes white noise and it uses the white noise to modulate something that's not audible, so that we can hear voices that may be around us, that may be responsive to us, that we would not otherwise be able to hear because they are not by design within our range of hearing. So the same way there's infrared, we don't see it, infrasound, we don't hear it.
Microwaves.
Right. So that's what the system does. It's analog white noise generators. There's no radio reception involved. There's no sweeping. The software on the computer we use is derived from music production, so it's meant to slow down the flow of the live white noise, which nobody had done before us, the actual flow of white noise, the static. There's no data in white noise. There's no sound banks, word banks. It can't receive a radio signal. There's no microphone input. It's closed circuit. And the only thing you hear out the speaker when it runs the white noise through the filtration is the emergence of voices, oftentimes in response, sometimes just saying things that you don't really hear the static, that crackly white noise, but you don't really hear it. It suppresses, that's called the noise floor, and then the only thing that emerges over it from that modulation are voices, and it's...
Wow. That's a relief to me, because when I've used white noise in the past, or Ghostbox, the same thing, SV7, excuse me, the noise that's in there, that gives me a headache after a while.
And it's a catch-22 because that noise, a lot of the noise control things, they make the ANC things for the spirit boxes. If it removes the white noise, you're removing, it's like taking the water out of a pool.
Right.
Your swimming's going to suffer.
Yes.
So you need the white noise to facilitate it, but what we have it designed to do is so it's not part of the audible experience at the end of it. It's used to facilitate it, and then by suppressing it and allowing it to springboard, so to speak, what we can't hear to being detectable, because we don't think that the voices are starting at a measurable or detectable level. If they were, we wouldn't need the instruments to hear them. And the thing that we love about it is that those are some of the criticisms against spirit boxes are your anomaly that you're looking for is voice. And you're using a radio that comes with noise, even if it's sweeping. So it's criticized for that they look at that like we're going to the beach and dropping jewelry and coins and then coming back 2 hours later with a metal detector going, look what I found.
Right.
You put it there.
Right.
So not having any data, no word banks, no radio reception, there's no reason there should be anything vocal present at all. Yeah. So when it happens and it's different, which sounds like different age ranges, different genders, the white noise is all equal amplitude. It's the same volume for every frequency within it, which is 20 hertz to 20,000, everything a human can hear. So when you get complete silence, you don't hear anything. And then you get what sounds like a child or male or female, and it's the cadence of speech.
emotions behind it,
Yes.
things like that.
Right.
And a lot, sometimes we get people's loved ones. So we go to an investigation and they're asking about history or whatever. A name comes out or something comes out, and they're like, wait a minute, I think that's, and then they start asking questions and they get responses sometimes from loved ones, which is lovely. It's always wonderful.
It goes along with my theory that ghosts are energy. I've seen them go through the internet. We had that happen a couple of days ago.
Mhm.
Live. It went from where I was to where the producer is.
Right.
And that was surprising.
But it makes sense.
Yes.
It makes sense. So we also practice and preach a form of metaphysical philosophy called analytic idealism.
Okay. How's that?
That reality is fundamentally mental versus being fundamentally physical. And you give me anybody in the field give me an explanation behind a phenomena, how they think it's happening, and within 30 seconds I can tell you which metaphysical position they're rooted in, or if they're rooted in multiple, which then makes it contradictory. I can tell immediately, because how we explain things or presuppose things happen, it implies it or infers it immediately. So one of the things that we try to do with this idealism is also be consistent, right? To not, I think a lot of people in the paranormal invoke science today for valid validity and credibility, but then in their same explanation, at some point immediately afterwards, they contradict the very science that they've just invoked.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in the paranormal will say what? That time and space is not a thing for the spirit world. Spirits are not adherent to time and space.
Right.
And then yet we're impressed when someone else is like on another side of the building or another part of the world, and then the voice comes through to them that you asked, right, what you were just describing before.
That's what happened.
But if time and space is just a human construct, it's experiential, it's not fundamental, then it doesn't become some kind of a remarkable mystical feat that happened. That seems like that would be normal, like touching fire and experiencing heat. It would seem like by design, right, what you're describing is how things should work.
Right.
There's a lot of things built into the beliefs with this field, like the fact that paranormal phenomena needs to be rare. If you have experiences when you go out often, it's a little suspect. That it needs to be rare is a function of the censorship of the phenomena. Is there's nothing that says that if this stuff is legitimate, it shouldn't happen often. That's not. Why would that be the case?
So when you say like the ghost or the energy came to you and then to the producer, we believe that it's energy, but it's for us it's starting with the mind, mental, which our thoughts are energy too, right? Everything is energy, but we think for us, when you start with energy, it's almost abstract because we believe it really starts from mind, which is energy also, thoughts, mind, and there's still it still leaves room for that to happen.
I fully agree. That is my theory as well. And in my research, 25 years, that's what I think. Exactly what you said. And so there's no argument here.
Yeah, on the same page here.
Yeah, I think a lot of times some of the differences too in the field come from explaining the same thing two different ways, but not saying something different.
Sometimes we find that there's people saying the same things, but they're just describing it with different descriptive words. But they're saying the same. They don't even realize it, and they're going back and forth with the same theory with just different descriptive words. So,
Well, we're calling it energy here.
okay,
If you're more of a religious type of person, you may call it so.
that's true.
Absolutely.
And it's all the same thing. It's
And
all the same.
this is energy up here. We run on electrical energy. When you die, there's one thing that's true in physics. Once energy is created, it cannot be destroyed. It can change form, but it cannot be destroyed.
Right.
Where does all this energy, especially in the absolutely amazing human brain, and it is truly amazing, I believe. Best computer on the planet right here. When the body passes away, where is this energy go?
You know, for us as idealists and what we believe, they're all around us right now. That's it.
Yeah.
For us, they don't physically go to a place. They don't physically go anywhere. They're always around us. They're right here. It's just that they've moved on. They've passed over there, and you now are not able to see them anymore. That's all.
Actually, in this radio room Thursday, I did my regular show right down there. and we did a little echo box session afterwards. I asked Gwen, you're standing right there, just a few feet away, a little bit closer. I said, can you say hello to Gwen? The spirits in New Orleans, can you say hello to Gwen? Voices, hello, Gwen.
Yeah.
And that's more what we're talking about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, I think she's spot on. We think under idealism that reality is fundamentally mental, and science is in league with that. Quantum physics says that physicality, physical things, are the result of observation and measurement. Physical things don't exist outside of that, and then when you measure or observe them, then you see what their parameters are. Physicality is a result of observation and measurement. You couldn't have quantum entanglement if particles were little marbles that were separated by millions of miles. One could not affect the movement of the other. To move on the axis one way, the other one moves on the axis the other way. It wouldn't be possible if they were independently physical things, but they're not. They're representations of it. It's like watching, if you had 3 TVs on watching a soccer game, right? And you brought somebody to your house from like the 1700s or whatever, and you see on this screen, the guy comes from the right side and kicks the ball, and on that screen, he's coming from the left side and kicks the ball. And on the other screen, he's coming from the bottom and kicks the ball. But for some reason, these 3 separate things are completely synced up. Like the ball moves at the same time and it reaches the same destination and goes into the net at the same time. That's an example of it where neither one of those is the thing happening. The game is happening somewhere else.
Right.
But those are each 3 representations of one thing that are out there being observed. And they have physical boundary, right? You have a frame, you see everything happen, and this guy here is moving in sync with that guy over there. How are they doing that? Because you're watching multiple perspectives or representations of the one thing, which is the game somewhere else. So that makes sense to us that's how it would work.
I'm just trying to picture someone from the 1600s seeing that, and they probably think that's the devil's work. Because that's what they would probably think, because they're seeing something that's happening that seems the same, but are different.
Right.
Just a thought that popped in my head.
Imagine somebody from 25 years ago, when I first started in paranormal, sitting here watching us now with this microphone.
Yeah.
The chip in that laptop didn't exist. Back then, laptops, you couldn't run them very long. They'd overheat.
Mm-hmm.
This one, we could keep on for hours with that chip, and it's almost as fast as a gaming computer.
Isn't that amazing?
And what we're doing right now, going out all over the world, is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm not having to pay a big, expensive TV network and go around with bulky cameras.
Yeah.
We got a little bitty camera.
I know.
I'm trying to remember whose quote it was. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's any significantly advanced piece of technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yes.
It's essentially.
I forget who said that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was now. I used to have it memorized, but
Yeah.
Man, much smarter than I am. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He got a good noggin.
Indeed, he did.
Yes, he did. Now, what are y'all doing here? You just talking to people and telling them about this?
We're talking about our philosophy, analytic idealism, and we're telling them about what we do with the white noise and our method of spirit communication.
Yeah.
So that's where we're doing. And we did a couple of ghost hunts so they can experience it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been to ghost hunts.
Yeah. We did a couple of them. And in New Orleans, we love New Orleans.
You can ghost hunt anywhere. You
Yeah.
can go in the outhouse and ghost hunt.
Well, that is the reason why I love New Orleans, because I come from a family that practiced espiritismo. So I was born into it. There is something about New Orleans, the culture, the energy. It draws me in here. I love it. It's great. And it's a great time.
I kind of think it's a crossroads.
Is it what?
Crossroads.
Yeah.
I contacted spirits that I knew in Georgia that had never been in New Orleans in their lives. But all of a sudden they contacted somebody I was with and gave their name.
Well, there's that time-space construct thing again, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
For us, it's an experience. We experience time and space. George is all the way over there. But for
when they cross
for that specific scenario, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it's the
Funny you said
mind.
George. That was his real name.
Oh, I said Georgia, but
George was the guy's name.
if it triggered the name, then there's something to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's something to that. We're also here because we were here 3 years ago and we met Jen and Chris Talley. And for people to know something about the people doing the event, we just met them and they took us on a few ghost hunts a couple of nights during that week. We took us out to dinner just to show us the town. They were kind of out of the gate. So he calls us a year or so ago and says, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this Paracon thing," you know, and we were immediately like, "Yeah, well, whatever we can do," and we were happy to be down here to do this. And I think this is a place that this can grow. However big it ends up turning out this year, I think it'll be bigger each time you do it because people will start to learn about it and hear about it. And yeah, we came down to demonstrate and show the digital seance experience and share that with people. That's why we bring it out of the house to do it. And then in our developing of the spirit communication stuff, I came across and then I introduced her to the metaphysical philosophy. I've been a part of an ambassadorship program for a little over a year now under a gentleman named Dr. Bernardo Castro, who holds 2 PhDs, one of which is in philosophy, the other is computer science engineering. He just started an AI company. He's out of the Netherlands called Euclid. And his approach to looking at phenomenology and consciousness as fundamental changed our entire outlook on the paranormal and how we approach it. And what we love about it is that it's coherent. It doesn't clash with science, and it allows you to explain or account for things with the least amount of steps, right? It's called skeptical parsimony. When you theorize something, the more steps you add into it, the more you have to either ground or somehow infer the reason for that. When you take things out of a theory, you don't have to ground it in anything. It's just, as long as it remains coherent, and then the fact that you're removing things from it, it gains strength from parsimony, from being a more efficient theory. So we're excited to share it with people because no matter what anybody's involvement in the field is, whether it's mediumship or spirit communication or whatever they do, there's a variety of different things. It allows for that phenomenology to be real and to be validated or credible or whatever you want to call it, without having to jump through the impossible hoops that a metaphysical position that doesn't allow for it does, because that's, I think, the biggest problem. The worldview is physical, and that all things are fundamentally physical, and anything that's mental or something is your physical brain creating your consciousness. But that view of reality doesn't allow for telekinesis, telepathy, mediumship, spirit, none of that stuff. And then you get that BS, and people know it. It's called the Sagan standard. It says any extraordinary claim requires extraordinary proof of evidence. That is only true if by being termed extraordinary, it is because of the fact that what's happening is not accounted for or allowed within this little ideological box that says it's not possible. And then you have to have some grandiose explanation to support it, because this belief system says that's not even possible. You're what? You're remote viewing? That's not possible. Well, prove it. You need to squeeze it into this box. No, you're starting with a belief system and then ruling something out that's an experience because it doesn't fit into that box. What we found with idealism would be beneficial for the field. It starts with experience, and then you try to understand or comprehend the experience. You don't start from a structure, and then if it doesn't fit in that structure, you go, well, it didn't happen, or it was BS. Mm-hmm. Or the best thing is when they go, it's not real, it's a hallucination, which is contradictory, right? The experience of a hallucination is still an experience, which makes it as real as anything else.
I had an experience once. I'll share where you were real quick.
Yeah.
See what you think. I was in private investigation, so I can't give names, addresses, anything. We were there, and it was break time for us. The other two investigators, they you know how people are, they smoke. They got to go out and get a cig break. They went outside. The couple who were in the apartment went to the bedroom, closed the door. I was in their living room all alone. No communication, no voice boxes, no ghost boxes, nothing. I was just sitting there quiet. So I kind of meditated myself. And I was thinking 1957 when the place was built. I concentrated, and all of a sudden I started seeing the building under construction workers with old 50s equipment coming in, working on it. The 4-lane road, sometimes 5-lane with the turning lane, was going up out front. There were heavy traffic. Chicago, we didn't even see Chicago. Back then, it was a 2-lane road. It wasn't traveled that much. Then a car went by who had the radio really loud. It was playing a certain hit song from the time. In fact, the guy had passed away before this song being really put out there. And all of a sudden, the door where the bedroom was with a couple of them, she opened it rather noisily. She snatched it open and looked, slammed it shut. Of course, that broke me out of what I was doing. So I asked her what happened. After the guys had come in, I told them what happened. She came in. Why did you come in the room, look around, and slam the door? She said, I heard music that was so loud, I thought you were listening to a radio in here. And there's no radio in the room. There's no stereo, no nothing in that room.
Yeah.
I said, out of curiosity, can you name the song? Sure. So, yeah, it's Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Yeah. I told the other two the name of the song, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. She named the song that I told them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how do you explain that?
Well,
Channeling going back through time.
Because the
and
world is
music coming
mental.
back where it was.
right. See, if the world is fundamentally physical, good luck making sense of that.
Right.
And that's the box. That's the ideological box that says that whole thing is a bunch of BS. You're making it up, or you're hallucinating. It didn't happen. But if the world is mental, which again is in league with what quantum physics and science tells us, then
It makes sense that can happen.
And
It's
that's
a
why I wanted to
mental
verify,
thing.
but tell my compatriots the name of the song and what happened
Mhm.
while they were in the room, and she could hear the guys whispering.
Mhm.
yeah,
And then
there's no way.
If you really think about that, when they say that everything exists at the same time and things like that, then it allows for something like that. If the world is mental, right? You are seeing a vision, hearing a song in your mind where she walked in the room and could physically hear it. Why? Because fundamentally the world is mental. And so everything can exist all at one time and not exist in all at one time. Everything that sounds hokey pokey-ish, whatever,
yeah,
it can exist under idealism, under that the world is mental.
yeah. Under idealism,
take it out of
all
there,
it is mind,
It
and
goes
then everything else is an excitation or a configuration,
The
a
energy
pattern of
right.
cognition within mind. And it's good too because an energy gets thrown around a lot in the paranormal. I'm thinking sometimes it gets used almost like a one size fits all thing. In some areas it's appropriate to say, but sometimes I think in the field that people will say energy to fill a gap in an explanation that they don't really know what's going on in, so they'll just lean on just energy. And the thermodynamic law that you mentioned before is important. It always gets truncated though too. It's cannot be created or destroyed within a closed system. I mean, ultimately, that's why we would still say not created or destroyed, because we don't know of any boundaries to the cosmos. So we can't assume a closed system. It could be boundless, right? We don't know how far it goes. But what part of what's at play with that is what's called entropy, where a system seeks equilibrium, right? A refrigerator stays cold because it's being acted upon by an outside source. So when you talk about not created or destroyed, the rest of the sentence is within a closed system. When you have a refrigerator, something's expelling the heat, maintaining the cold, so that's acted upon by something outside of it. Coffee, when you see the steam coming off of it, and it goes from being hot, higher vibration, to colder, which is usually how it works. That's entropy. That's the system releasing energy to equalize itself back to a normal equilibrium. So it's important, I think. But like everything you had, if somebody told you didn't have that experience, you would be like, no, I did.
Mm-hmm.
So we start from experience, and I think sadly, the field grew to a place where there was a need for people who go by the idea of the role of a debunker or even skeptics. I think you should have skepticism.
Yes.
But I think we have debunkers for the same reason that we have over the top sensationalized YouTube stuff, that the system seeked balance, right? There was so much over sensationalizing. Everything's a demon. Things are out of control, faking stuff, whatever. And the community went, well, hold on. We need to police that. Boom. And then you have the birth of the debunking community. But they're no better because they're also going in with a bias. It's just the other end of the bias and the people who are exaggerating stuff. So
and I always say the answer is somewhere in the middle, or at least some of the answers. We may not know it all, right? We're not going to figure it all out, but the answers are somewhere in the middle.
Let's just leave it at that. Are y'all going to be back next year?
We hope
Are
so.
you having a good enough time?
We're having a great
Yeah,
time, and I hope we're invited again next
Yeah,
year.
if having a good time is the criteria to be back, we'll be back.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job. I think taking care of the people and treating everybody right and doing the best to make the experience nice and enjoyable for people and the place they're having it. I think they did a good job on that.
The
Beautiful
panel,
Yeah.
the education, the culture, everything that they presented here was really, really
The
it was
ghost sunset
fantastic.
night.
The ghost
That's
sunset
amazing.
night, that was nice.
Where can I mean?
And the food,
Paracons-
guys, the food.
Yeah, no other Paracon has the food we have. Here.
No,
The
no,
food.
yeah, that's a hands down here.
And not many of them had the ghost stunts
No.
that Christopher and Jennifer had planned for everybody.
And one thing that I have to say about New Orleans itself is it's one of our favorite places is the Shiny Hotel. And this is nothing. We have a couple Shiny Hotel where every time we go
In New York State.
in New York State, there's activity because of where it is and where it's located. Whatever it is, but New Orleans is a whole city, guys. Like the this part here is there's the energy here. Wherever you go, you're gonna pick up something. Like if that's what you're seeking, you're gonna pick it up. Whether it be EVP, Ghost Sound, whatever, you're gonna get activity. Why? Because this is rich with that energy, with that culture, and it's a great place to visit, especially if you're a paranormalist.
Well, I like to say it doesn't matter where you've played before. New Orleans is a brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I actually got permission from Marie Laveau to basic ghost hunt down here. So I don't have any trouble with anybody.
Oh, good. You don't want to trouble from her. Mm.
And no, I don't want to piss her off.
No.
I don't want to piss any ghost off. They will
We don't want to piss nobody off. We don't want to piss anybody
And
off.
see, in a mental reality, why would a city like this be any different or any more special? Because culturally, it is embraced here.
Mhm.
It is not alienated like all that silly, goofy stuff those
Mhm.
people don't know. It's embraced, and that's why you can have on a widespread scale a feeling like what she's describing, what you're describing.
Mhm.
Because in a mental reality, that's a collection of thoughts. It's a consensus, right?
Mhm.
And
the energy coming down from Missouri, the Ohio, coming out from way up there, the Illinois River runs into it. All that rushing down, very close to Chicago, very close to Minneapolis, St. Louis, Memphis, all that energy coming down this big river
Mhm.
and coming right past New Orleans and rushing out to the Gulf. That's got to create some kind of energy.
Yeah.
Here.
And if the world is mental, that works too. Yeah, that works too. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
Thank you for having us.
yeah,
I love talking to you. This is the first time we really met and
Yeah.
talked.
Mhm.
It's been a pleasure. Appreciate you coming by the show. And I hope you're here next year
Yeah,
and we
that's
can talk
true.
again.
It's a pleasure being here, and thank you so much. And I hope we're here next year. Put in a good word for us.
Yeah,
I will. I kind of talked to him doing this. We had a couple of big talks in the streets out here.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he comes from people talking to him, and certain people talking him into it. He did it.
Yeah.
I think they're great people.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
great people.
yeah.
And they did a great job.
Yeah.
An amazing
they,
job.
they gave their all to this, and I think it shows.
Hey, and Gwen, don't cancel this run. We may have another guest in this one. Let me see if we can talk to Jason.
Oh,
Hey, let me talk. Jason,
Jason,
can you come here and sit down in a chair real quick? Will you take
oh, wait.
the Lindorman challenge?
He can't. He can't.
I don't want him talking. If you just sit down in the chair.
You can have this chair.
Yeah.
I will give my chair up for Jason.
And now you're sitting with Jason. How's it feel?
I am. It feels secure as long as I'm not the target. I feel like I could talk smack on a level I've never done before.
You sure about that?
Or not.
We're right here at the entrance to the New Orleans Paracon. I don't think anybody's going to be gate crashing right now.
No.
And how do you feel about this, Jason? Okay, that tells me all I need to know. I appreciate you coming in and doing a little security for us at the gate. And I hope you won't kill me. Okay. Thank you for appearing on our podcast.
That was good. That was good. He does not break character.
All right. let's go ahead and end this on that note. Gwen, take her away.